no person except a naturalized born citizen shall be eligible to the office of president. That's from Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution. Now, flash forward to today, only 58% of Americans in a recent poll said they believe President Obama was born in America. Arizona's House of Representatives this week passing legislation mandating a presidential candidate produce his or her birth certificate to get on the state ballot. With us now, political contributor John Avalon, author of Wingnuts, and political analyst Rowland Martin. Rowland, let me just play devil's advocate here. What's wrong with the state of Arizona saying, you know what, presidential candidate should produce a birth certificate, and we have the right to demand that?
Because they're stupid. They're stupid. Okay? These are the same people, Anderson, who always talk about states' rights. So basically what they're saying is, to the state of Hawaii, we don't trust you. And so I would turn it on this head. How would state officials in Arizona feel if another state rejected their birth certificates? See, it's not just so simple as, well, just present a birth certificate. The other thing is, there's no standard birth certificate in the United States. There are different types of birth certificates in different states and different counties. And so if I don't have my original out of Harris County in Texas, if I get a duplicate, it may not have the raised seal on it, but it might be a vital statistics of birth certificate. So this is a nonsensical issue. They are playing to the nuts on the right.
John, do you agree this is all about politics?
Yeah, it has become all about politics. It's feeding off a persistent fear that somehow President Obama is un-American, and this becomes a symbol for that. But it really has. Look, I mean, this is something that the Obama campaign put on the web in June of 2008. The Republican governor of Hawaii, Linda Lingle, has backed. This should have been done and gone a long time ago, but it's managed to become a very persistent conspiracy theory because it is, as Roland said, is feeding into a lot of people's worst instincts and fears that have to do with whether or not President Obama is truly American. That is
right.
Absurd stuff, and yet we see capitals. These folks got to wake up.
And Roland, I mean, I hate to bring race into this, but do you think there's a racial component to this, that he is viewed as somehow other, and that contributes to this?
Well, of course, you have these people who are sitting here, like I was saying, he was born in Kenya, and they're questioning his legitimacy, and that's what we're seeing. But I want to pick apart that ridiculous state official you just had. He said, quote, divided loyalty. He basically was saying that President Barack Obama has divided loyalties. He's not really loyal to the United States. Then he kept talking about to demonstrate that he's qualified. Well, what does that mean? As you so put it, did any of the 43 previous white guys have to demonstrate that they were qualified to be president? These are the games they're playing. And so this simply feeds into this continuing notion that he's legitimate. Look, you got this guy in the Army who's about to be dishonorably discharged, even court-martialed, because he's refusing to go to war, saying, boy, he's not a legitimate president. Oh, come on. This is playing to the nuts. The nuts out there who don't want to believe anything about this president.
Yeah. And just, you know, I just added that, look, I mean, there's a birther bill in Congress that has, you know, a dozen co-sponsors. You know, we've seen this stuff erupt before. It's lost its legitimacy, or it should have, but it's persisting. It's being pumped up by some folks with an interest in it, whether they're, you know, conspiracy entrepreneurs or people who are playing politics with this. And, you know, it began with some folks on the left. It actually, you know, a Hillary delegate in Texas is one of the people who started this up. But we got to remember,
but it's amazing when you look at the poll number, and I don't know if this poll is accurate. It's a CBS News New York Times poll, but only 58% of Americans think that he was born in the United States. 20% think he was born in another country, and 23% don't know or didn't answer.
Right, but Anderson, look at all the work that we've done to debunk the fact that he's a Muslim, and you still have people running around saying, "Oh no, he is actually a Muslim." So look, let's just be honest. There are some stupid Americans, okay, who want to believe nonsense. Let's just go ahead and say it.
No, I don't think the American people are smart. The problem is you got a lot of people constantly stirring the pot, pandering the lowest common denominator. And look, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but not their own facts. And this, we got to just keep hammering this home. Folks, the facts are clear. This is set and established. And you know, just because you've got a bunch of conspiracy entrepreneurs trying to pump up Obama derangement syndrome in people, you know, that's where we just got to say, look, this is not legitimate. This is wingnut stuff. and it's appealing to the worst instincts of the American people. We're better than this. We're smarter than this.
And it's one thing.
Go ahead, John.
It's one thing for people, you know, who have busy lives, who aren't paying attention to news on a daily basis. Look, I get why people don't have an opinion on it or say, look, I don't know. There's so much information out there, floating out there. It's one thing for people to understandably, you know, be confused about it or have formed some opinion, but it's another thing for legislators to actually act on it. And use taxpayer time and money to focus on this kind of stuff.
Right. And that's why, look, I know, John, I know we want to be nice about it, but I'm sorry. If we keep putting out fact after fact after fact and people still don't believe the facts, they're stupid, John. That's what we call them in the real world. Well, maybe it's not nice or PC to call them that on television, but this is ridiculous. I mean, think about it. This is a House of Representatives in a state saying forget another state, forget a Republican governor, forget the head of the health department, forget all of them. They're all wrong. We want to see it ourselves.
Hey, look, the state legislators in question aren't just stupid, they're cynical. And you know, this big problem, ultimately, it goes from an old quote by Jonathan Swift: you can't reason people out of something they weren't reasoned into. This is right-wing politics. This is about fear-based appeals designed to divide the American people and try to delegitimize a duly elected president of the United States. That's why we should all be offended by it.
I think a lot of people are going to be offended, Roland, by you calling people stupid.
Well, go right ahead. But if they believe he's a Muslim and they believe he's not American, I'm sorry, Anderson, they're stupid.
Roland, I'll leave it there. I'm not going to argue with you. Rowland Martin, appreciate it. John Avalon as well. Thanks very much, guys.